YouTube, what's going on? This preacher. So I'm out here delivering my. This is where they training all the horses at on the jumps. This is the stable and stuff. So, hearing that noise, that's my friend right there, making that noise. There we go. That's that rooster crowing. They got it in the cage there. But I'm out here, and then the owner of the place asked me if for the summer, starting in May, if I would do his other place in Kentucky, Lexington, Kentucky, which is, he said, it's like 3 times the size of this place. Now, this is not even 1/4 the size of this place right here, right? So, I mean, I'm just in a very small section. I had to come a 1/4 mile into this particular section right here. I am actually at building D. This D right there, and I'm at building C over here. And A, and I passed by A and B on the way coming here to this place and stuff. So I do about 5 of these throughout the month that I actually go to the horse ranches itself. I have 5 that I do per month, and the other places is warehouses that I deliver to that sells all the horse products and everything like that. And what they unloading here now is wood shavings that they offloaded me right now. But because of the care, like even when I came in, they had kids and stuff on horses, and reason why they request me all the time is because I actually show that I care about the surroundings. So other truckers that be coming here, they be having their Jake brakes on, and I don't know why you want to have your Jake brakes on when you're going so slow. They only meant to help you slow down your truck, right? And so when you going through here going 8-10 miles an hour, why you need your Jake brakes on? And it scares the horses, and the horses would just take off running, and they don't like that with these, these big pedigree horses and everything. They don't want that. And then when I got here, out on this place right here, this little arena, they already had a kid on a horse that was practicing these jumps and stuff when I had rolled up. So you can't be coming in here with your Jake brakes on. That's all you hear, because the horses gets with the noise, they just get skittish. They start jumping, and they don't want that with the kids and stuff that's trying to do it. But you got so many times where the truckers would do that. So they request me a lot, but I can't do everybody at the same time, especially when they be wanting things at the same time. I just can't do it. They always ask me, hey, do I have somebody who's like me that can do this too? And it's funny, when they asked me that, I did have 2 other people with their own companies, that are going to take things seriously. But then what I didn't understand about them is they couldn't do it because they couldn't afford to wait to get their money. They needed their money the same day or the next day. And so they couldn't do this this contracted freight because they can't wait a week to get their money. All these places, they pay me by Friday. right? It goes directly inside my business account, but they pay me every Friday. And everybody who I recommended, they want the money because it's great money. When you're getting $350 a mile, $364 a mile, $374 a mile, I think the least amount that I have now, they had to up it because of the fuel, but the least now is $326 a mile, and that was the one that I was doing before for $304 a mile. So now it's $326 a mile that I get, but they couldn't do it because they couldn't wait a week to get their money. They need their money like the same day or the next day, because these places don't factor. You know, these folks, they don't factor. They just send your business a check. You just write your contract out and they pay. And I haven't had any problems. All my money is in there by Friday, 2:00 in the morning. I haven't had any problems. But these folks with money, so you know they could do that. And so he wants me to do his other place in Lexington, Kentucky. And we worked out a price. And I was like, cool. And that one's going to give me about $360 a mile servicing his place. But I'm only going to do one a week from there because my other shippers still want me to do loads on Wednesday and loads on Friday for my Florida run. So I'm just going to be doing one run a week for him in Kentucky now. And then he said with this place, because it didn't slow down, that this place is only going to be one time a month now. So I was like, cool. So we worked out a deal. So I'm going to be doing that. We're going to be delivering there next Tuesday. I picked that load up on Monday, and I'm going to take it there on Tuesday to Kentucky on that one though. But you know, doing this contracted, it's a dedicated lane, which is it's a contracted dedicated lane. So when I say contracted freight, it's just lanes because I use these different shippers and these different receivers, and it's just a particular lane. I didn't want to do a dedicated contract that I'm just going to dedicate my time to always that, because depending on where I'm going, times and things like that, I just can't be like, okay, I'm going to be here every single time at this time, no matter what, because how the market is. You know, because I still got to find loads from Florida to get me up to these shippers to be able to deliver their product where they need to get to. And sometimes I can't make those particular times. So it's just a dedicated lane that that I have a contracted amount for that particular dedicated lane that I have, that I negotiate. So no matter what lane I run, we negotiated an amount and I get that amount no matter what. You know, there's some friends, they always say, well, like my lane from North Carolina coming back down to Florida, it's paying me $324 a mile. And some of them, man, you know, I get loads coming from there like for like $350 a mile, you know, $340 a mile. Yeah, I believe you, and you can, but you getting that now. I get that consistently, and that's one thing that a lot of people who don't understand real business thing is the free market. The rates go up and down. You never know what you're really going to get. Well, when you have a contracted amount, you know you're going to get that whether the market rate goes down. You lose if it goes up past that amount, but how long is it going to stay up? I know no matter what, I'm going to have this for $326 a mile, no matter what. You don't know if you're going to get that $340 every single time. You don't know. So I'd rather have the contracted amount knowing I'm going to get this every single time, no matter what. As long as I negotiate my rates higher based off the fuel, you know, I don't lose no money. Now that fuel went down a little bit, I'm still making out because that contracted amount is that contracted amount. It's not going to change. So if the fuel then went down, I'm going to benefit, right? But in the spot market, because the cost of fuel went down, now you're going to see that price that they was offering you was getting, they're going to start to take that down a little bit, because they're like, okay, well, they're saving on fuel now, so let us start lowering our price again. I don't want to sit here and negotiate with brokers and I can't work a deal, so now I got to find another load that work out what I want to go. Then I got to find another broker because I can't get the money. No, I know I take this load, I'm going to get this no matter what. No matter what, I'm going to get this. You know, the least amount that I get, depending on loads coming out of Florida, it's about 6,500. You know, 6,500. So I know no matter what, I'm going to make between 6,500 a week. I said this before. I know for some of y'all, that's not enough money for y'all. I get that. But my overhead expenses and what I need for my family and to run my business is plenty for me. Okay, because I'm home 5 days a week. And I'd rather spend time with my family and my daughter and my wife. I'd rather have that time with them than to be out here all the time, be out here for 2 to 3 weeks, and then coming home 3, 4, 5 days just so I can make another, $1,000, 7,500 a week, 7,600 a week. No, I'd rather give that up to spend time with my family, man. I'm not finna be out here burning myself out. You know, I make money. I don't let money make me. You know, I want to enjoy my house, my community, things going on inside my community and things like that. You know, that's me. I know that may not be y'all, but that's me. The more I'm out here, the less I'm in church as well. Now, because I had a passing on my wife's side, and I have to take her up to New Jersey for the funeral and things like that. You know, I had extra expenses going towards all that, so I didn't miss time away from church the last 2 Sundays because I needed that extra money for those extra expenses. So, and that's the other thing, you know, when I'm out here running, if I need more money, I just run a little bit more. That's the other thing. So, yeah, so those particular weeks, I was running more so I could make a lot more. So that extra 2,600 that I just made for the last 2 weeks, just taking one extra load each week for a total a little bit over $2,600, that's going towards, you know, me going up there to New Jersey for my wife and everything like that. You know, and then my daughter, she's getting out of school in May, so I'm trying to take her on a little vacation too, and I'm going to be taking time off of work, so I work a little bit more to cover those expenses. So it's not going to take away from the money I'm getting right now. I just get a extra load per week. I do that for a whole month, getting one extra load per week. Now I have all my vacation money, and I'm good to go because that extra $1,800 per week pay for my vacation that I'm out for the whole week, or, you know, 4 or 5 days or whatever I do. You know, so when you got these contracted lanes, it's easy for me to call and be like, hey, I'm taking this time off for vacation. And they're like, hey, no problem. I come back and I just start where I left off at. If my truck needs service or my trailer needs service, I let them know, hey, I can't do this load this particular time. My truck is going to be in the shop. I need some service done on it. And then we going to be cool, right? Because even now, I'm going to have to get this fixed on the way, but an airbag on my truck had bust. It's leaking air from the bottom, so I got to get that airbag replaced. And then the other load that I just picked up at this pallet place, I wound up getting the nail in my trailer tire, so I got to go and get that tire patched up because it's leaking some air. I just had to put some air in it while I was down here too. So sometimes you can't do certain stuff because certain stuff goes on, and my truck have to be down for the day. But it's easy to be like, hey, I'm not going to be able to do this load this particular day because of I got some vehicle maintenance, and they like okay with it. and I'm okay with it. So it's not like it's when you have that contracted thing where you have to be there, they expect you to be there and fulfill that contract. But if it's just a contracted lane, dedicated lane that you are doing, if you're not able to do it, it's not a big deal. So sometimes when people talk about contracts, you got to be able to fulfill that contract. So it's easier to negotiate something to there where if something was to happen, you're not locked into it and responsible for that load getting there now, because they want to make sure you are dedicated to doing this. That's what they want to know. And they can put in clauses and fees if you're not able to fulfill that contract. But if it's just a dedicated lane with a contracted rate that you have, you always can be like, hey, I can't do it this time because I got this going on or I got that going on. And it's not a big deal. They just find somebody else to do it. So I just say that because somebody had asked me, the difference of me doing this dedicated lane with contracted rates compared to being in an actual contract and servicing that particular contract. It's a big difference. So you got to do right by your business. If I'm a one truck operation, and I don't have another truck to fill in the gap with this one particular truck, I have to do business decisions based off of the one truck that I have. And then you have to keep stuff up. You have to keep stuff up. At least if one trailer go down, I got another trailer to be in mix, and I can still be rolling, right? So sometimes you got to look at all that particular stuff too. But when you're doing great service and they like the service and the job that you are doing, they give you more work. I turn down more loads now than anything, but it's from the same 4 shippers that I service. I have to turn down loads. Now I'm not able to do it. Now I'm working with so-and-so with this and load. No, I already got this going on with this in particular shipper. Then they be like, well, okay, then they find somebody else. But then they want to schedule stuff out 2 weeks, 3 weeks in advance. I got stuff scheduled all the way out to like May 14th. I think that's a Thursday. May 14th. I have a delivery that I do. So May 13th is the last one pick up from a shipper that I got right now that's scheduled. I don't schedule past that because I'm not going to schedule stuff way in advance. Plus, my wife got this couple thing that they doing, so I can't do something one particular weekend. So I have to do all that particular stuff like that too. So some of y'all know how it is. I'm still married. I still got responsibilities to my wife, and things that she wants to do. I always can't be about me. That's what I mean. I'm not finna be out here all the time and it's about money. Money is good, all right, but what's the use of making money when you can't spend it and do the kind of stuff that you want to do, right? So sometimes you got to worry about that. I can't be so far in work that I'm not giving God his time, his due diligence and stuff that he deserves, showing up to his house, giving him praise. So you got to have that work-life balance, but you also got to put God first. Sometimes I tell my wife, no, I can't do this in time. I tell them, no, I can't do this because I need to be inside of church. And sometimes I have to tell them, no, I can't do this because I got church going on. No, I can't do this because I got a meeting with this. So I got to make sure I give God his time too, because he comes first in my life. Now, I know that may not be y'all. I'm just talking about me. Like I say, this is a personal vlog of my life and my life, what I'm doing inside of trucking. This is not a trucking channel. I'm just telling you what I'm doing. I tell you how I'm doing, what's going on with what I'm doing. That's it. All right? So y'all be blessed out there, man.